Hello and welcome back to Horizon 180. I'm Paul Chaderjian, and as expected, as the ANCA promised, the House Foreign Relations Committee has set a date, March 4th, to consider the Armenian Genocide Recognition Resolution. On the phone with us from Washington, D.C. is Aram Hamparian, Executive Director of the ANCA. Aram, hello.
Hello, Paul. How are you doing?
Good. Well, how are you doing, I should ask? You had some 32 inches of snow?
Yeah, we really got snowed in, and definitely an act of God that's had some pretty interesting implications for us as Armenians. So I guess we'll touch on that a little bit later.
Definitely will. I'll ask you about the meeting. But first, let's talk about the House Resolution 252.
Sure. No, we were very, very encouraged, very gratified that Chairman Howard Berman scheduled a vote on March 4th. This is a great opportunity for us to get America on the right side of the Armenian genocide issue, and more broadly to send a signal that America is serious about ending the cycle of genocide. So we're looking forward to the 4th. We're working extremely hard. Chapters, our regional offices, our national office, and activists across the country are just working really hard. We need everybody's help, so please get involved. If you're watching Horizon today, please get involved.
And it's definitely time now to make those phone calls again, right, Aram? Call your congressional representatives, remind them how important this is for American Armenians. So what happens between now and the 4th? We need to have people call Congress, correct?
Absolutely. Well, let's look at what's going to happen now. The chairman set a date, which means that the folks who have always been aligned against genocide recognition, the Turkish government, its lobbyists, its allies, people who are bullied by their threats, they're all lining up left and right. They're coming at us with a major offensive of lies, of threats. They're trying to use the protocols now as a way to block recognition. So that the other side is coming at us very aggressively, and we need to do at least as much. And we're not going to spend millions and millions of dollars. We're not going to hire major PR firms, but what we are going to do is mobilize citizens and voters. And in this election year, that's going to make a big difference. So we're confident that with the truth on our side, with a moral cause guiding us, that our activists will prevail. That we're going to win this vote, and we're looking forward to March 4th.
Aram, you mentioned reaction from the other side. What kind of a reaction has the ANCA had? Who's speaking up, and what are they saying?
Well, I'll give you two interesting reactions. The first reaction was from the State Department. When a senior official was asked about the resolution, he did not come out and say, we're against this resolution, or we think it's a bad idea, or we think it's a bad time, or that it will interfere in the Armenian-Turkey dialogue. There was none of that. It was simply the process of the protocols is moving forward, and it's independent of every other process. So that I'll say it, we're cautiously optimistic that represents a step in the right direction by the administration of not interfering.
And then second reaction came from?
That was from Assistant Secretary Gordon. He was asked rather repeatedly that question, and his answer, if you go back and look it up online, was very interesting for what, frankly, he didn't say. And that's the first time in many, many years that we've seen a senior State Department official not just, use every opportunity to attack the genocide resolution. Paul, the other was from the Foreign Minister of Turkey, and he just lectured America and sort of chided the American government, especially, Chairman Howard Berman, for bringing this measure up and said, this is not good for America. And I asked, who the heck is Davutoglu to tell us what's good for America? It's not his place to tell us what's good for us or what's right for us. I thought recently about the Chinese government, which was trying to block America, the American President Obama, from meeting with the Dalai Lama. Obama did not cave into Chinese pressure to cancel that meeting, and in the same vein, the U.S. government should not back down to Turkish threats and it can't speak honestly about the genocide. So Davutoglu is really going over the top here, and I think he's just going to get more and more desperate, along with the rest of the Turkish government, in the days leading up to March 4th.
Now, you mentioned State Department reaction about the resolution being scheduled. The meeting that you had scheduled tomorrow with the State Department, with Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, got canceled because of the storm you mentioned. Tell us more about what's happening, when it's going to be rescheduled. What's the latest on this?
Well, we just learned Friday that the State Department was postponing the meeting. They said that the reason was the snow, and certainly the snow is very bad here in town. We have a serious snow situation. here in Washington, where we're not used to a lot of snow. But there was also some very serious issues of balance and bias. The initial list that the Secretary invited was not representative of our community and was highly biased in support of the protocols, and that was not right. And we made our views very clear on that, as did many others in the community. And I think that that also was a factor that led and contributed to this postponement. And we're hoping that the State Department will use this time to get it right and realize that it doesn't serve the Secretary's interest, it doesn't serve our interest to have a one-sided pro-protocols minority representative speak for the rest of us.
So we expect to hear from the State Department about when the meeting would be and whether they've edited their invitation list.
I think that what we're looking for now is a new date and a new configuration, and a configuration that is respectful of our community and allows our community to represent our views on our terms, not on somebody else's.
Aram, final 30 seconds. Resolution again. It's set for March 4th, Thursday, March 4th. We've told people to call, and if they've called already, maybe they can call back and express their gratitude, especially to Congressman Berman, who took the lead and scheduled this. What should the message be when our activists call their congressman?
The message is this: America needs to be on the right side of the Armenian Genocide issue and on the right side of ending all genocides. It's a simple moral issue. It's not something that is contingent on the talks between Turkey and Armenia or any other issue. This is about America. We're speaking not here about ultimately about Turkey or even about Armenia. We're talking ultimately about America and the kind of nation we're going to be, a nation that is not bullied, a nation that speaks forcefully and truthfully about human rights and genocide. So we're in a very powerful sense, Paul, the conscience of America here, helping us sort of turn the tide against a century in which America has not responded forcefully enough to genocide. We're going to turn the tide, and years from now, I think that people will credit the Armenian community as having played a vital role in moving America to the right side of the genocide question.
It's about time, and thank you, Aram, for all the work you're doing to make this a reality. Aram Hamparian, Executive Director of the ANCA. Horizon 180 continues.